one, you have to have a talent. Secondly, the director does a lot of things. Work on you to help you get higher than where you started.
Yes.
So if an actor has the gift of acting, the problem is that everybody wants to act because they feel that they can make money from there.
Yes.
But they don't realize that if you don't act well, nobody will cast you. But those who are good, they need to be directed.
Yes.
Like I said in the other interview, we have our leaders that have started spending money, sending some of us to school to go. That's why you see our pictures have improved from what it used to be. Right. So we need help. The director can go a long way to help at a time. If I'm on set with a director, they will say, Patience, use your discretion. Which is I have gotten to the level where that director can depend on me to carry through the role very well. And if somebody is cast in a movie and you leave the person that is supposed to be there because you want to help this one to go, you won't get the best. In casting, the right people must be put on board for you to get whatever you want. Is it clear?
Yes.
Am I speaking the truth?
Yes.
If you can't bring, most of the time, you see, some of these are young girls and boys, they have money, more than some of us who are already in the industry. And they want to become stars overnight. They bring their money and sponsor movies and cast themselves, imposing the character on themselves over the director.
Yeah.
There are some directors who are worth their salt. They will say, no, I can give you another role, but you don't affect the story very well. Right. Some of them are wicked because they want money. If you don't direct, they won't make money for the family. So they will allow you to go home with what you want to do. But when a director knows that, my aim is to get to Netflix. My aim is to get to Prime.
Yes.
Internationally.
Yes.
They will choose the right people for the right roles. But you know also that he who pays the piper, the text is true. So sometimes these things militate against choosing the right character. But if an international body comes to shoot a movie, a story that happened in Nigeria or Uganda, for example, the major cast, if not from Uganda, it could be from African country to show the color, the mannerism, the costume, the location, everything worked together to bring a story into limelight. And you know, this movie was shot in Uganda. And this movie was shot in Ghana, or here or there. But if you don't have money, you don't have a voice. God will give us the voice. You didn't hear me?
Yeah.
God will give us the voice.
Amen.
That same God, that the voice He will give us is that we will have money to make our own movies. They can't beat us to it.
Yeah.
We learned from them. But we were doing drama before they came and started doing the big movies. It's something that we are growing.
Yeah.
And when we grow, we are actually growing.
Yeah.
If you remember how we started, you know that we have really gone a long way. We have tried. All we need is for them to do the right thing. There was a time when they wanted to shoot the Half of African Song. They sent for me. They're like, if you want to do audition, you can't call these big names in Nollywood and leave them to come on their own and say, I have come for audition. No, that's an insult. You can send for them. They don't even know you are auditioning them. You know what I mean? Yes. So they don't even know that you are auditioning them. And respectfully, they will do play their run and go. Then if you send me a letter that actually this movie, there's a movie you want to shoot, you want to take. But then I would have, oh, it was actually an audition I went for. Yeah. But when you join up with them, people should send in their names for audition. Sunny salt. Hello? Sunny salt. In as much as we don't have money to do it, if they want to use us, they can use us and use us correctly. Please. And at the end of it all, when that movie came out, I did well. I knew I did well. They sent for me a second time. The first time I went, I paid my bill, flew myself to Lagos. So they now said, we will call you later. I said, fine, which I did well. And shortly after they called me, and what now told me later, after the second audition, that they paid my bills. I said, the owners have decided that it is this person. I said, fine, you have wasted my time, then no problem. If it's my movie, nobody will take it from me. But do your best. The fact is that children of nowadays want to become stars before you even go on set. Once you register with the industry, you begin to claim I'm a movie star. What do you need for a living? I'm a movie star. You have not even appeared in any movie. At one time, before you can appear on a poster, you celebrate it. The day they came and told me that, hey, your face is on this thing. I said, hey, if you see race, we ran, me and my friends, we ran, and when I saw it, and then I said, God, I thank you very much, I thank you. Because your face has appeared, it just shows that you did well in that movie. But now, when you are now the ones sponsoring the movie because you want to become a star, you've already put yourself on the poster where you want it to be. So let us calm down. It's one step at a time. You begin from somewhere, and you know where you're going. The sky is no longer your limit, but your starting point. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you. I think there's so much food for thought in all of those remarks. It builds on the issue of character, on casting, that if we have the expectations that casting should be done in a way that befits the story, the African story, then we also can't be counterproductive to that as well. Because of a lack of financing or investment in the industry, we're seeing it become skewed not towards talent, but more towards whose pocket is able to finance particular project. I think also the issue as well on the importance of the technical people that are involved, such as the directors, how character development cannot just lie in the casting, but also who is supporting these actors in the roles that they are cast in. So do we have the right expertise from the directors, I guess, to the entire technical team? How do we ensure that we're able to tell our stories in a way that are authentically true to us, but also recognizing and acknowledging that we've come from far. Of course, things aren't where we want them to be, but we also have made progress, and we should continue to invest in that progress. There was also as well an acknowledgement of the importance of earning your stripes in the sector. You must invest in your art. You must put in the work that is required, because that work is what will then ultimately be the decision.
I want to start on a controversial note, but I want to ask a question. Do you think that when movies are made in Hollywood, they think about you in Uganda? No. So that's the first point I had disagreement with Joy Odiete's position. You see, movie making is both cultural, both political, both setting an agenda. Depends on what you want. There's always an interest. So I don't care who's about you in Nigeria. It's a product they want to sell to themselves. If you buy part of it, that's your business. Let's have that standpoint. What is the most advanced secret of Nollywood success? We are telling our own stories to our own people in the language they understand, and that's why they patronize us, and that's the history of Nollywood. Uganda, tell your own stories. Tell your own stories to your own people in the accent they understand. I need to make that point because she's a distributor, so she's distributing and I'm acting. Nigeria, yes, sometimes you talk about acting locally and thinking internationally. Yes, it's good for the global world that your content is local. There is something that happens in Uganda, it doesn't happen anywhere, any other place in the world. You can tell it from the Ugandan perspective to the world. They will patronize you. Don't go speaking British English here to a woman in that market who came through. He no go sell. So we have advanced, because everything I want to talk about is from the standpoint of how we were able to do it in Nollywood. You know, the story came about, and my name was number one on the things about them wanting to recreate Ozokwo, things all about. And Reno Mokri, I'm not a fan of his, but Reno said, number one, Kanayo can play this. Why you bring it in this server? Yes, KOK is 60 something, or KOK has a face and a drive. I'm not contesting, I have never compared my acting capabilities with any foreign actor. I am Kanayo with a Nigerian accent. For the purpose of movie making, I can be given an artistic director to say, this is what we're positioning you. But don't make me start speaking like Donald Trump. It won't work. So for the purpose of filmmaking, they called some Nigerians and said, okay, can play this in this recreation. Why are you bringing an American actor who is not even American? In line with what my sweetheart has said, you can't speak Igbo more than me, even when you are taught by an artist director. It's not possible. You cannot give the mannerisms of being an Igbo person, which is an Igbo story. You cannot. As much as the producers have liberty to choose whoever they want, I don't care. But the fact of the matter is, we have grown as an industry in Nigeria to be able to spearhead a younger actor playing Ozokwo. It must not be Kanayo or Kanayo. But for goodness sake, don't tell me about marketing. That's why I have a disagreement with her. Don't tell me about marketing. Sometimes, and most times, I have been at the immigration point in London, and the person stopping me and say, okay, how you doing, man? You've not been around here for some time. I watched a movie 2 weeks ago. That was a person stopping me in as an immigration officer. They watch. So what are you telling me about not being popular all over the world? Sometimes Africans we don't patronize ourselves. You write an application. They say somebody with 10 years experience. Where you go get 10 years experience? Are you out just like CNN does to you every minute? They repeat news so that you must hear it. That's what CNN does to you. What happens to raise this young man from Uganda? Push him to that character you want. So we must not align. I'm a cultural and traditional. What I'm wearing is my native bead as a chief. I don't joke. I'm a bloody, fantastic African. I'm proud. If you can ask me, I'm an arrogant African, I won't say no. I love my continent. They can't love me more than myself, for goodness sake. These guys, you mean nothing to them. We must sell our product to us. If we don't sing our own song, nobody will. If we build partnership between us and Ugandans, it's not, and whatever it is, but I'm in Uganda. Yeah, I mean, of course, some guys came from Kenya to understand the Vejiro and all this stuff, but they ran away. They don't know you knew, like, they ran away. It was Cameroonians and Ghanaians who came and stayed for some while. But, you know, like the apprenticeship scheme, they learned the job for 2 years and ran away and thought they had learned. They don't know we are holding the secret of movie making in Nigeria. So the point I'm trying to make is this. We can build an industry. Characterization, we talk about characterization. Some of us have been part of movies where we played beyond the flexibility of what was expected. But the problem with viewers in Africa is this. Immediately, Patience Ozokwo plays a wicked mother-in-law. They will not accept her for any other role apart from wicked mother-in-law. That's a problem with you, who is They don't see the flexibility of the actor. I've undergone some role playing in Nollywood characterization where I was made to speak like somebody else and so on. They won't notice that. So the point I'm trying to make is this. It's a huge industry for us to drive the content of what we want. We have a huge population. We have people who are interested. The beauty of coming from Nigeria is that we have men and women who have the resources who want to invest. I don't know whether Uganda has it. Many African countries don't have it. Of people who want to invest. You know, during the interview, I was telling them how we built Nollywood. You don't know because you're not Nigerian. Joy we know from stories being told. You know that part of it. I tell you, my brothers and sisters, listen. A woman whose husband is rich, her husband will give her feeding allowance. She has a younger brother who's been telling, I want to produce movie. I'm talking about 25, 30 years ago, how we built Nollywood. She has a younger brother or a friend who has been saying, please give me money now and let me produce this movie. If it was 500, she would pitch 200,000 and give to the guy. This is feeding allowance her husband gave her. The guy will go, make one movie, make two, and come back and say, Auntie, this is the money I made. Though. That's how we built Nollywood, from feeding allowance. Are you Ugandans willing to build an industry from feeding allowance? Yeah. Are you willing to save money and make a short film and make news? I'm telling you the sacrifices we made. Then cast your people here. It's about culture. Some people will notice you from outside this land and say, we saw this movie, well made, it's from Uganda. Are you willing to make that sacrifice? Let me raise the case now and continue later.
Wow. Yes, I know Joy needs to react and to respond. The seats are on fire.
For ensuring that whatever you put out there, I monetize it and you get return on investment. While the actors, they are looking at, oh, my character, I must be able to position it very well and tell my stories. But yeah, as Africans, we should look inward and tell our own stories. Nobody will tell our stories for us. We have to put ourselves out there, tell our stories, go to festival, invest in your craft, invest in your stories, and then, the sky is not even your limit.
Wonderful.
That's what I would say. I hope
The cops are listening.
Okay, let's final thoughts on this.
Okay. Mr. Sacrifice has said it.
Patience is waiting.
Let us inspire ourselves.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell the story. Somebody else can pick it from there. There's a story I have about my father. I've told one or two people, and they said, wow, my father wouldn't have been able to give birth to me if not for my grandmother, what she did. I saved that from her. So we have such stories. And then you directors that are here, potential directors, producers, please don't look at people's faces to cast. Don't look at people's faces to give anything, even behind camera.
Yes.
Otherwise, sometimes we finish shoot and the pictures cannot be found. And directors also should, like Netflix, they have people who they know are discreet directors that was direct the movie they will buy. In fact, before they even commission any project, you will bring the script, they will see it, and then they also contribute in casting. But what I say is, if you are cast, go home, do some job on the script that you are given.
Yeah.
So we will come up with something. Tomorrow nobody will say, don't give this person this job. So everybody will do that just. See, when we shot, sorry I'm wasting your time. When we shot, they call it, the name of the movie was House Boys for Sale. These two boys, I can't remember. Though they were not as big as they are now, I was supposed to carry them up on my head to go and sell them. And they said they are going to superimpose, when they use camera, they say, no, I'm going to carry this thing. It is the hard to work that propelled me to do certain things that sold me out to new people. That's why you are loving me. Give yourself to whatever you want to do. Absolutely. And do it to the best of your knowledge. They will be looking for you. My grandmother just shot one movie for me. I just used that. And another director was watching when they were editing it and said, please, I want this girl. She's going to play lead in the movie I want. Wow. So we are waiting for them to go on holidays now. She'll go on set. Because she gave herself, I sat her and I said, you want to be like grandma? She said, yes. I said, this is what you're going to do. And she did it. And she ended herself another movie now that she should, just after the first movie. Wow. So give yourself to whatever comes your way to it. Do it to the best of your knowledge. Nobody will challenge you. But if you don't, in fact, when we come for audition, everybody is running after one particular character, isn't it? Yeah. There are 300 people. So what do? You fight to get that character. And if you lose, you say, they are looking at people's faces. It's a lie. One day, I was just telling you, one director said, if you give me, I will take. But if you don't act well, I will take my spirit away from you. Because you are trying to take food away from my table. And the owner of the movie will not call me again to come and work. So do it well. Do it what? Well. Thank you.
Yeah, I think a lot has been said. Mine are just quick short takes. Create, collaborate, network, repeat. Yeah, that's all that we need. And let's keep collaborating. And even try to give a mention to a film that we created here last year, a television series that we had authentic Ugandan actors, and I didn't even know that Uganda also have like different communities and tribes. So we went to communities and brought authentic actors from all these different places. And then we had like Kenyan actors who spoke their Kenyan authentic languages. We had a South African, we also have a Nigerian actor, just to create the power of collaborations. And all this was just by networkings and friends coming together for this particular dream. So that's a celebration, and it's possible. And then it just started. I think how we met with the director was just on a panel like this. Can we create something? Can we do something? And then after that, the product came. And then even as a believer also, I know that once you step out into the water, then it will part. Like once you have that dream and you start creating, then things will align in your favor and you'll be able to work and make great things. Yeah, and also lastly, let's not be timid about ourselves. Yes. Be courageous, be bold and courageous. Every space that you go, believe you are the best of the best and tell your authentic African stories. You see, like a Nigerian or a Hollywood person, they would always tell you like American is the best country you can ever live in. Yes. Americans are the best snipers, Americans are the best in this. But when you come to an African, when you want to create, we'll just bring in a woos or someone who's not really good in acting, someone who's really like, let's create, and let's create those authentic African stories.
Yes, I'm sure we're going to have a fantastic film.
Authentic Ugandan stories, that's what you need. There was a time when Nollywood was evolving, they don't cast blacks. White people would paint colors of ash, right? They were looking for attention. They couldn't get it. If it's not Kanayo, Kanayo, can be Kanayo, Kanayo, just simple. So if it's not Ugandan, like you said, create your own stories. Don't, if you can speak British accent, go ahead. With American accent, go ahead. If the rule permits it. But more especially, I've said it before, the Jackie Appiahs got their relevance. The Majid Magos and so on, they got their relevance coming to act in Nigeria. That's partnership, that's collaboration. So, Ugandans, it is before you. We're here to lend our voice and credence to what you do. Seek for partnership. Invite some of us here, those who have time will come. That way, give yourself a 5-year moratorium or a period. They can invite some of you to Nigeria. you act with some of us. When you come back here, you replicate the experience of what you have. You start small and grow it big. God bless you.
Thank you so much. Can we please give another round of applause to our fantastic panelists for making the time really to give back, to contribute. I imagine that they had so many other things to be doing, but they're here with us today. So I think the messaging really: tell your story, believe in your authentic African stories, create,